Well, the other one, or the next one I've got on my list, is Walt Disney's Uncle Scrooge, Only a Poor Old Man, of course, by the great Carl Barks. And this is, of course, the second strain of Barks reprints that Fantagraphics will be beginning to put out. So they've already started the Donald Duck reprints with Lost in the Andes. They released one volume of that, and they're going to be releasing the Uncle Scrooge material concurrently with the Donald Duck stuff. So this is the first of the Uncle Scrooge books. Of course, a great character that Barks created for Disney Comics. And I think this first book collects like the first long Uncle Scrooge story. It's supposed to be one of the better ones too. So, I mean, obviously that's worth, checking out.
Cool. Another one I'm excited about is Polly and the Pirates 2, Mystery of the Dragonfish. This is coming out at the end of January here. Obviously, Polly and the Pirates was Ted Naifeh's follow-up character to Courtney Crumrin. A little spunky. She was kind of like a good girl, frilly clothes and stuff like that, who became, leader of like the pirates. So
again with the pirates with you. It's always pirates.
I don't know. That like creators like pirates, I guess.
I think you like pirates. I like pirates too. So
they're showing up in a lot of the genre stuff that I kind of like. This will be a little different than his first Polly and the Pirates book because he's actually not illustrating it. Robbie Rodriguez is illustrating it, and he's just going to be doing the writing for it. So, could be interesting.
Could be.
But either way, Polly and the Pirates is a great character, so I'm excited to see her again.
All right, more pirates. Cool, I like it. The next selection that I want to talk about is The Furry Trap by Josh Simmons. And if you guys know Josh Simmons, you should be a little nervous about a collection called The Furry Trap coming out by him. He is just a terrifically creative horror, comedy, sex cartoonist. His stuff is always very, very disturbing. He did a horror graphic novel, actually a fairly straightforward horror graphic novel called House, the ultra weird Jessica Farm. He has serial running in Mome. This book is a collection of short works by him. And included here is a story called Cockbone, which he had originally published as a mini comic and which I read online. One of the most disturbing, bizarre comics he's ever done, and that is definitely saying something with Josh Simmons. The story Jesus Christ, which was originally published in Mome, will show up here, as well as a story that Fantagraphics is calling Mark of the Bat, which I am assuming is actually Josh Simmons' unlicensed Batman comic that he released again first as a mini comic, and which I read online. I think it's one of the best things he's ever done, and it's really what kind of made me a fan of him. So it's kind of his take on The Dark Knight, and again, it starts out fairly straightforward, but goes to a really dark, kind of weird place by the end. So, Josh Simmons certainly not for everyone, but if you are, tuned into the kind of things that he's doing, you're definitely going to want to be on the lookout for The Furry Trap coming out again in spring from Fantagraphics.
You haven't read the first two. I've seen images from Cockbone, which were kind of disturbing.
Yeah.
But I really like that Batman story. Yeah, really.
He's terrific, Josh Simmons.
And the last one that I have to talk about...
I don't have too many more.
Okay, sure. Is that they're finally doing a collection of Flex Mantello from Grant Morrison and Grant Quitley.
Good pick.
Frank Quitley. So, yeah, that comes out March 6th. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that, and this is the team who did, All-Star Superman, so, some new X-Men work, so it'll be nice to see them in some of their early, collaboration.
Yeah, and this is one that's been kind of in limbo as far as having the rights to reprint it. So this is one that I think a lot of people didn't think was ever going to show up. So that's definitely going to be a major major release in 2012 for sure. Okay, well the next couple I picked kind of go together, and they are the first two releases from something I am very, very excited about. Fantagraphics reprinting of the classic EC Comics material. So, I mean, this is for me like on the same level as something like the Carl Barks work that they're doing now. Classic, comics that have not really had a great sustained reprint effort going for quite some time. That like needed to happen. And it's wonderful that a company like Fantagraphics is going to be handling this material now. I think Gemstone most recently had the license to this, and they put out some volumes with just like horrendous recoloring. It was just like really bad. But I know Fantagraphics will do right by this material. They're taking a little bit different approach than other people have taken with it in the past. Instead of doing collections of series like a weird science book or whatever, they're going to do collections by artist, which I think is a great approach. So the first two they've got coming out are a Harvey Kurtzman collection, which is called Corpse on the Imjin, named after his famous short story, and Came the Dawn is the name of the Wally Wood collection. So, I mean, come on, how are you not going to want to get these comics? I mean, these EC comics are some of the best, like, comics that have ever come out. So Corpse on the Imjin book, they're edited by Gary Groth. Corpse on the Imjin, of course, represents Harvey Kurtzman's war stories, war material from Two-Fisted Tales and Frontline Combat. And the Wally Wood collection, Came the Dawn, collects crime and horror stories from books like Tales from the Crypt, Haunt of Fear, and crime suspense stories. So they're, I think, probably going to get to all the major EC artists, and Kurtzman and Wood, obviously two of the all-time greats, are kicking off this line of reprints. So I can't wait to get my hands on these things. So you're all done with your list. I got just a couple more to mention. Again, almost on the same level as stuff I have wanted to see reprinted. Fantagraphics come out with another book by the shoujo manga pioneer Moto Hagio, and it is The Heart of Thomas, which I have wanted to read for a long time. This is kind of the text for what I call like boys' love manga. This is one of the early, kind of the first example of that kind of thing that kicked off that whole subgenre about these two boys at a boarding school, these two young boys. So The Heart of Thomas by Moto Hagio, a classic, is going to be reprinted finally by Fantagraphics, so that's wonderful. I loved A Drunken Dream.
Yes, they did a great job on presenting that before.
Yeah.
And that was her first introduction to U.S. audiences, besides like the Comics Journal special that they did.
Yeah. Well, I think they had translated A.A. Prime, somebody at one point. I think that had come over. It's out of print now, I believe, but at some point I think that had come over. But yeah, the true introduction of Moto Hagio to U.S. readers was the shoujo manga issue of the Comics Journal, and then the wonderful short story collection, A Drunken Dream. So any Moto Hagio I would have been happy to see, but The Heart of Thomas in particular, I'm thrilled that they're doing that next, because I've wanted to read that story for a long time. So that's going to be fantastic. And my final selection of things that I'm looking forward to in 2012 is not a comic per se, but rather a book about comics. And once again, coming out from Fantagraphics, is The Secret History of Marvel Comics. The subtitle is Jack Kirby and the Moonlighting Artists of Martin Goodman's Empire. This is a book by Blake Bell and the Golden Age comics expert Michael J. Vassallo. So this book just sounds fascinating and wonderful. It's going to be about the kind of pre-Marvel era of Timely Atlas, and it's going to examine other things other than the Golden Age comics that people know that Martin Goodman was publishing around this time, like a lot of the pulp and kind of girly, kind of more sleazy material that they were pumping out, much of which was worked on by artists like Jack Kirby and a lot of the artists who would go on to form the foundations of the Marvel Universe. So this sounds like just a fascinating book, and I don't really know much about that era or this material. I don't think a lot of people do. So this is going to be a real eye-opener, and just sounds like a lot of fun if you're into comics history at all. And Greg Sadowski always does a good job with this archival stuff. So for sure I'm looking forward to that one too.
Nice. Sounds good.
Yep. So that's it. That's some of the books we're looking forward to in 2012. And again, that's just what has been announced so far. So there'll probably be a lot of great stuff coming up in the year ahead. And safe to say, probably a lot of these things we'll be talking about again on future episodes of the Comics and More podcast.
All right. Thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some good material to talk about pretty quick here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.